Hello, Courtside HOA fellow board members. This is Lance Davis. I didn't get to meet you at the meeting. I was on the phone. This is a short video to introduce my spreadsheet with the different plumbing and sheetrock repair estimates, as I've discussed by email several times. Today is January 5th. Okay, so let me just review the method real quick. We said we'd get 5 plumbing estimates. So 5 plumbing estimates are represented. 3 is pure plumbers who came that I met with, along with Roger and other board members at different times, and even one of the owners was present for one of the meetings. So 3 pure plumbers, 1 general contractor, Jed with Elk Mountain, and then an estimate that Steve Solana already had from, I believe, Blue Planet, and they just stood with that. So we've got that estimate. I reflected that on the spreadsheet. Okay, then we got most of the plumbers end up saying, you know, you'd be better off just getting your own sheetrock repair, drywall person, handyman, painting company, sheetrock company, and just have 2 separate contracts to get that done. So we interviewed Jorge Gonzalez and Jose Jimenez, and their prices were pretty affordable, and Steve at least has worked with some of these guys. So most of these have some prior experience in the area, and some board member has had some experience with them. So it was a pretty good spread. So reviewing the problem, polybutylene, not a matter of if, but when it's going to rupture. It's very expensive to repair. People are displaced. Big problem, big problem. Most of the plumbers came back with the same general concept of how to fix the problem. I didn't really notice any huge technique differences. They all said there's no displacement of residents. People do not have to move out during a period of time. They may have to move stuff out of their master closet, okay? They may have 3 to 7 days of intrusion into the home, but really it's maybe a heavy day of plumbing and a sort of heavy day of sheetrock repair, and then follow up. So I was pleased by that. The dust on the sheetrock repair is just 1 day when they do the sanding after the mudding, and they use electric sanders with vacuum. You see all this in the videos that I've included. So it's really not going to be that painful for the resident. I mean, nobody likes it, but I think it's sellable and people understand. Warranties, we looked at that. The one company had quite a generous warranty, but they're like $9,000 per resident to fix this. Terminology, we as a board need to use the terminology. A unit is 1 single condominium, 1 single residence. Some of the plumbers would see it as a functional unit, which was an upstairs downstairs stack, because they all need to be done in that fashion. You always need to go and be ready to do the upstairs and the downstairs. For those of you who haven't been on the tour, the idea is the downstairs unit has to have the must drywall cut, at least in the walls, maybe, but hopefully not in the ceiling, but you've got to cut into those to get the plumbing for the downstairs and the upstairs unit. The upstairs units won't get a lot of drywall problems, and so that's going to help keep costs down. And then it does look like even for the kitchen, we may be able to run piping under the crawl space and then up the little narrow wall in the kitchen that divides your kitchen from the living area. The pipe can go up there, and so it may be that no ceiling drywall has to be cut, and I think that's great. It's much less to deal with, the popcorn to repair and all this. The other issue is in the closet, the master closet. If you've got drywall, it's a little more to repair. If you've just got paneling like mine, just cut it out, screw it back in, and then you've got an access panel to your plumbing. That's how I'm going to opt to do mine. So recommendations. Number 1, I'm recommending TP Howard. Average cost per unit estimated to be $2,700. I'm recommending Jose Jimenez for the drywall repair and painting. He's saying $580 for the downstairs unit, $0 to $150 for the upstairs units. Of course, it's a little hard for those guys. We're going to have to understand they don't know exactly what cuts the plumbers are going to have to make, because there may be things they find, and then they've got to adjust a little bit. But that's the ballpark, and we can look at that and give them some ranges. Other recommendations. I think, and we need, let me preface, I think we need to have a board meeting by phone next week. We've got so many things: property management company, HOA insurance, contracts, this issue, So I think we need a phone meeting, and then we can have more questions and such. But my other recommendation is the way we do this is I think we need to assess for the plumbing. Probably assess $4,000. Then we'll have a buffer, and any money that's left over we use to rebuild the reserve fund and pay back the repairs of plumbing that have already happened, and the assessment would be for plumbing. I would recommend that we have a separate either assessment or just opportunity to group by the repair. So you may want to paint your unit, or you might be planning a remodel, and it wouldn't make sense to pay somebody to come and repair the drywall when you're going to have a painter come in. That may be the case for me. I may have a tenant moving out. So we might just say, well, the drywallers need 15 units to get the discount pricing. So, everybody, after the plumbers come, instead of us assessing you, just use these guys, get the best pricing, and they know what to do, and then they can sweep, and you can make your own arrangements with them. Something like that. We can discuss it, but or we could assess for the drywall repair, but people could opt out easily. Again, if you're planning a remodel, a reconstruction, a painting, it may not make sense to pay into a set drywall repair when you could customize that to contribute to the work you're going to do. So those are some things we can talk about. I can explain that more when we have a meeting. Again, next steps, I think we definitely have to have a phone meeting. After that, we need to do an education campaign to discuss with the owners what the problem is, what the solution is, why we need to do this. I would plan to make a more formal video, maybe editing some clips from these different plumbers, and really explaining what the work we've been doing, why there's a problem, what the budget is, and all that. And each owner can watch that and save us a lot of time, and then we could make phone calls if need be to answer any outstanding questions, or even have a town hall meeting so that we're the good guys. We're the ones trying to mitigate this problem and bring you the best possible solution for it. And communication, and I believe a video will help that. And then eventually we got to talk about raising the money, and you've heard my recommendations for the assessment. That's certainly something we need to talk about as a group. So please just take a look at the spreadsheet. I'll ask that reserve some of the email questions, because it just gets so onerous to type. I'm kind of tired of computer work, and I've got many other things. Take a look at it. Look at all the plumbers' videos. I'll also attach the estimates. Take a look at it. Educate yourself. But let's plan a phone meeting next week, and everybody, have their questions. They're ready. Everybody can hear it. Follow-up questions and all that. That would be my request. So thanks again, and I really appreciate everybody's work and input. And Steve definitely had put in a lot of work and starting these estimates even a year or two ago. I'm kind of picking up from there. Roger's had a lot of input with his experience with this. Other people have come. I know Jim was at President One, and then a homeowner, Jack, is. The other thing I will tell you, board, is I've talked to some of the owners, Allison in 17 and Dave in 13, and of course others of you on the board, and everybody gets the problem. They understand that this needs to get done, and so I don't think it's going to be a hard sell. I think we just need to be neighborly about it and educate people. So that's my thoughts for this particular time, and I hope to talk to everybody next week.